All right, so moving on, we're going to talk about posts and pages next. We're going to skip over media for right now. So again, in I guess a traditional WordPress installation, we would click, we can have blog posts. So in this case, let's say we are a hiking website and all of our blog posts are the hikes that we've been on. So this is an existing one that WordPress puts in here for us. We don't really care too much about that. You can click on it if you want, and you can see the editing screen. So you have your title on this block here, and then you have the actual new Guttenberg. If you haven't seen this before, this is the Guttenberg editor, and then all kinds of options over here on the right that we'll get into at another time about how to add content to the site. So in general, you can hit all posts on the left and you can see all of your blog posts, and then you can hit this add new button to add a new blog post, and then categories and tags are ways in which you can group your posts together. And we have those same exact things. We have categories anyway under pages. So if we go into the pages, we can add a category to a page, and then we can customize those as well. So we will get back to that as well. But for now, we'll stick on posts. So if we go to add a new post, we're presented with a blank, kind of a blank canvas, if you will. It has us in the code editor. So I think for the most part, if you're watching this video series, you're new to WordPress, and most likely you're new to web development. If not, I apologize, but I'm going to lean that way for this video series. So if you happen to see what we're looking at here, which is, editing code and exit code editor, I would probably go ahead and click that because what we would really rather see is this more friendly version of the Guttenberg editor. So for the title of this particular post, we will just call it My Awesome Post. Or I'll just say My Awesome Hike, right? We're going to have a hiking website here. And then in this writing block, you can literally just start typing. So here is some great text. And then one of my, is helpful for us to be able to manipulate things is having some generic text. And so one of my favorite lorem ipsum generators is cat ipsum. Of course, you can use bacon ipsum, and there's zombie ipsum, and there's all kinds of cool stuff. So let's just leave this all default. We basically want 3 paragraphs, and then just hit make muffins. And then what we'll see is just a bunch of generic text. So we want to select it all. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go back to our post and dump it in here. So I can close that tab now. So basically now we have My Awesome Hike as our title, and then we have some text. I guess we'll put in some carriage returns in here, and you can see that makes a new paragraph automatically. I think I'll put another one maybe here. I'm just kind of randomly grabbing things here. And then here's some more. These are obviously very long paragraphs. I'm just going to keep putting in some stuff here. But then the other thing you can do is, just like a regular Wysiwyg editor, and that is Wysiwyg, what you see is what you get. I can highlight this first sentence, and then WordPress gives me a bunch of neat options to play with here. And then I can also click this drop down and see more controls. So I can switch over to code, I can put an image, I can do all kinds of other, I can make it strike through. There it is, it struck through. And then if you hit these other 3 dots, you have a bunch of other options. So we can actually duplicate that paragraph. We can remove the whole block. We can insert stuff before and after. So basically what I would recommend, and I would recommend this to everybody. I want to get rid of that cross through actually. Yeah, I want to make it bold, and let's maybe right align that, or so whatever you want to do, you can play around with that. What I recommend you do is get into your new WordPress site, add a new post, and then just start playing around with it. And then what we're going to do when we're done with this, I'm going to mess around with the stuff on the right-hand side for a second, and then we're going to go look at our post on the front of the site. So the other things that you can see over here are some different text settings. You can choose the color of the text. So if we go miscalibrate, which maybe is apparently spelled incorrectly, or maybe just WordPress doesn't like it, I'm going to make that blue. Oh, it makes a background color. That's not what we wanted. We wanted the text color to be blue. And that does everything. So we're kind of experimenting here and looking at, okay, maybe we don't want the entire thing blue. Maybe you just wanted that one word blue. So we can go and play around and see how to do that. And that's for that block of text. So you can see this block right here. If I turn that blue, it doesn't mess with this block down here. The whole thing about Guttenberg is blocks. So this is manipulating the block. If I go back to document, I can now do things with the document like add new categories, and that's the post in general. And then if I do block editing, like if I click on this one, we can see that the color is set to blue. But if I go to this next block down, which is a paragraph, there is no color setting. It's all just set to default. And maybe I make that background blue, just for giggles. So anyway, this is your content of your fantastic blog post that you just made. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just publish it. So on our website, we've just published our first post. It's yelling at me because it doesn't like the color combination. So it's apparently being sensitive to accessible design, which is fantastic. So anyway, let's go to preview. So I like to not have to go back and forth between tabs. So I'm always opening up new tabs to view my content. I also have a couple different monitors. So if I'm actually working on a site, if I'm developing a site, I'm working on this monitor, maybe it's your laptop, whatever it may be. And then on another monitor, I actually have the live site. So I would encourage you to get in the habit of opening up new tabs. On a Mac, I can hold the command button down on my keyboard and hit view post, and you'll see it open up a new tab right here. The other option that I kind of encourage people to do is if you just right click, you can do open up a new tab or a new window. Those are both perfectly fine options to get things to open up in a new tab. So now when I go over here, we have a really boring website, but we have it is called MAMP, we know that. I wrote this blog post. Here's the title of our blog post. This is today's date. And then here's our blue text, and then here's our blue background, and then it goes back to the regular, black on white text that we had, and that's our whole blog post. There's comments down here, which we'll get to in a second, and then because WordPress gives us a blog post out of the box, this is all native WordPress. I just noticed the word poop on the screen. That's great. But because we have that other post in there, we haven't deleted that post. An earlier post from My Awesome Hike is the Hello World post. So if I go and click that, it brings us back to this other post. And this is all they put in there. But again, it's my name, today's date, because we created the site today. And then this happens to have a comment on it because WordPress gave us a comment and put it on that post. So again, we'll go back to my post. Okay, so just to prove how simple it is to change things, we're back in that post now. And then if I click on this particular block, which is a paragraph, and I just hit the backspace key. So it was just, I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that. So I can go in here and I can change this text, of course. But in general, I kind of know that we don't really need that paragraph at all. So if I've highlighted the whole paragraph and I just hit the backspace, it goes away. And the same thing with this one. Like, I don't really need this paragraph that's here as some great text. So if I highlight that and then just hit backspace, it's gone. So now we just have our title, and then we have the first paragraph. And if I hit update, and I go back to the live site, you can see the text is here. And if I refresh, I'm going to hit Command R. That text is now gone, and our blog post is updated.